I
like
just got scammed. Well, I didn't get scammed. I had an Indian scammer this week, and it was just like, really?
was it
Like,
Vivek?
really? No.
Sorry,
No, I wanted to talk about
like
that.
Vivek.
Did you see him he was standing at the fucking Super Bowl. He was at the Super Bowl with his wife, fame in football, and I thought he hated jock stuff. He hated jock stuff, and here he is at the Super Bowl.
What's he doing?
You know,
How
like,
dare
image,
he?
you don't like Ramaswamy?
rehabilitation tour.
Yeah, he's trying to be cool now, and it's just so
I was like,
over
that's
for
Zach
him.
Morris. This
Over
is Zach Morris
happening.
behavior, bro.
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
be such a Vivek defender. It makes me sad.
What turned you?
To be quite honest, the shunning of Americana, which is like it's like the thing that he shunned and said was one of the things that we should be like shameful of and change, is the byproduct of, our forefathers, hard work. The whole idea of like child labor being eradicated under the in the Western world, and the United States being a leader in that. I mean, children used to not have a childhood, even in the United States. The Breaker Boys, those girls that would like shuck the oysters and they'd have missing fingers. Like the whole idea of Americana and Friday Night Lights and football and all of that is like one of the greatest accomplishments of this era. And for him to just turn his nose up at it and say that, like, obviously we want our children to do things like read, but children who are doing well at there's a whole.
But you know what? If you're good enough at sports, you won't have to read that much.
I mean,
that's what America's about.
But it completely misses the point of like part of like a crucial
how
part
to learn
of
how to like do stuff, how to learn to do stuff. Like you have to learn how to do stuff as a kid, and it'll be hard sometimes, but I don't know. His whole thing was.
But that was the whole thing stemmed from H1B, which has the literal argument that they were making about H1B visas has been verbatim said over and over and over again since the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, they've said we have a shortage of these like high skilled tech workers, and I don't really trust the people who can spot the problem but have offered absolutely zero pathways to fix it long term. I mean, we've known for longer than I've been alive that this is supposedly a problem, and there's been no move to mitigate or to put out like a concrete plan for how to be able to fill these roles within the United States. It's just, we need to import Infinity Indians to our, like, that makes absolutely zero sense. So that Vivek showed a lot of colors when he like made that argument. It was obviously a shunning of American culture at like its most like,
wow.
And Boy Meets World. He brought Boy Meets World and Saved by the Bell, which are like, it was awesome. And he was like jealous of those guys. And I'm like, they were actually pretty cool, normal dudes. Like it was.
And
weird.
Boy Meets, I didn't watch like a ton of it, but like it's one of those but it had it always touched on like more like, I guess, heartfelt and like cerebral and thoughtful topics than just like it. I felt like this was a bizarre example.
And he lived in a traditional home with a mother and a father. Like that stuff was sad.
Like we should be so lucky that that's what the average American youth experience would look like.
Wow.
Yeah,
he sounds jealous. He sounds like jealous that he was like an IT nerd and not a football type.
I guarantee you, like,
that's exactly what it sounds like.
And it's not even like you can't even just be good at a sport anymore for the most part. I mean, you have to be like really, really good though.
Unless
most
you're a dude in a woman's
who are
sport.
on scholarship also have competitive GPAs. They're also like active in the community. The whole like, jock just like skates by on athleticism alone, that even is an antiquated notion of America. It was completely out of touch. And
definitely.
And he said he brought up Screech, and in real life Screech like got arrested for all these crimes, and then like this guy
died.
Yeah.
That's
right. And also these big tech companies, while they're saying there's a shortage of workers, they have been laying people off for the past 2 years in massive numbers.
And the argument is like, well, not all like tech jobs are the same. It's like, well, you saw this gap and you didn't think that, we have people here already, rather than having
and they sent them all to college. They sent everybody to college in the late 90s.
To ship people in and to have to offboard and then onboard, which is a very expensive process. Like a whole new, like it's for completely erroneous reasons, and it's not the ones that they state.
And they frauded it. They frauded it with like the gas station stuff. Like, of course, people have frauded it, and like,
and not to mention, like the bringing in a lot of workers from India. What's up, Nina? Bringing in a lot of workers from India brings in the caste system to our like tech jobs. That is like an unspoken but very much real threat to American workers. Anyways.
Nina, we're just talking about Vivek's downfall, which I guess I was not that I wasn't paying attention to it, but I know that he dropped out of the Doge and he said, "Oh, it's because I want to maybe run for office." But I wonder if it's tied to this his sort of
he went quiet after that. After that whole argument, everyone's like, "What?" Everyone was like,
well, he's been going on podcasts and trying to like rehabilitate his image, but it's not going well because the things that he said were like truly cut to the core of like what America is. And honestly, people are just sick of watching their jobs either be shipped overseas or watch people be shipped in to replace them in their workforce. I mean, that's an absurd concept to say that
having
we
to
need
train.
That. They say America wins when we have like these high skilled workers. I'm like, who wins exactly? Can you please tell me exactly who's winning? Because it doesn't seem like it's the American worker.
And if they're so skilled, fix your own country. Fix your own country and be skilled there.
Exactly.
Like, and that's scam me. Not try to scam me when I call into Microsoft.
The high-skilled Indian tech job worker is like that's already a myth in and of itself. But this is a whole different conversation. Sorry. But
I wonder if I can get
I love it.
Is there a clip of this of Vivek, or is it like it's been a?
It was a Twitter thread.
It was a tweet, and
it was right on Christmas. It was like the 24th or 25th.
It was,
and
then he doubled
right around.
That's the one that where he said like all the people who watch Saved by the Bell shout out like that. Yeah.
He brought 90s. He brought the 90s up. Like it was so bizarre.
Oh yeah, the 90s. I don't know what
I watched
Saved by the Bell was with that.
And then,
Boy Meets World. Like, what was wrong with that? That was good things to like want to be a family and like you know. It was just
those
weird.
Are good shows. No, he's just jelly because he's too brown for football, or not tall enough, or not.
Well, now he's getting pictures with his wife. He's getting pictures with his wife on the football field at Super Bowl, and I'm like, this is Zach Morris. Well, it wasn't Zach. I'd be more. What's his name? The other guy who's the jock, but like.
Slater. AC Slater.
I'm like, isn't fame in football more of a jock thing? I posted that.
Wow.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
See, who you are in high school really carries over, doesn't it?
It is disrespectful when Americans have to train their foreign replacements. Could you imagine you work at a company for 20 years and then you have to literally train your less competent foreign replacement?
It's a well-documented thing too.
It probably stinks.
And they bring their family in, and they bring their families in eventually, and they'll take over whole like parts of tech companies.
Yeah, they're very nepotistic.
All they have to do is make one kid, and they have an anchor.
It's going on in Canada too.
All there.
It's
Canada too, Nina.
Yeah, Lauren Southern before her downfall made like a whole video on like how like basically that they were taking over, and I actually kind of agreed with her because like the immigration policy in Canada has just not been working out either like too well, and so basically what would happen is a lot of them would go and then they would get become under government subsidies because Canada's a socialist country, so they would just pay them to be there, and then they would just bring their family over, and they would just all live off the government, and then they would just all take over and they get paid less, so they would work less than a minimum wage to work at like Tim Hortons and like other places. That's why she went viral for that photo where she was like, "I love Indian food," and she was holding like a Tim Hortons cup.
That's funny.
Oh, that's great.
It's the same thing in the UK as well. Like I believe, I don't know his name, but like the richest person in the UK is like an Indian man. Which the UK has shot themselves in the foot numerous times. They accept refugees / asylum seekers / immigrants kind of without really any limitations from any Commonwealth nation, which it turns out about a third of the world's population lives underneath the United Kingdom's Commonwealth, and India is part of that. I mean, that's an absurd. It's never been, I guess, abused to the by the numbers that it is now, but it's unsustainable. It's a literal island. There's only so many places you can put people. So anyway.
And make your country better. I don't get like making your own country better.
Who's going to India?
They can only make it better here for America. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It falls completely apart with like any sort of scrutiny whatsoever. But anyway, so that's what Vivek did.
That's really disappointing, and that makes a lot of sense.
And Elon defended it. Elon defended it too, didn't Elon?
No, he did.
Oh yeah, he did.
And all of the right-wing talking heads did as well. They were saying that, oh, well, isn't prioritizing the American work, that's just DEI for Americans? And it's like, yeah, it actually is, but like, what the fuck is wrong with that? That was like and I say this as someone who like does a show for like, I got some podcasts for a living, but like the right-wing podcastosphere is like some of the worst. Like, they were the ones who were saying you should be grateful to work at Panda fucking Express.
Oh my god!
Low skill, high pay, low stress job.
Boy,
but none of them will work at Panda Express. They get their six-figure jobs to sit there on their silly little publishing house and write their little articles.
That was also the time when Elon Musk first kind of showed his true colors of like, let's start banning people that don't agree with me. Oof. So that was like also like the first time I think that he really kind of was like, I mean, he was going wild for a minute, and then he started giving people's accounts back. Like I think like Owen Schroyer, Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer. He was banned, and then Laurel Loomer was banned. A bunch of people were banned, and then he slowly, like, they returned their accounts, and everybody was like, what the fuck, like, are you doing?
Wow, there was a lot of ball washing
honestly that's
going on as well.
In the long term, that's a much better mechanism for control, because if people don't want to be silenced, they don't want to lose their platform, if they know what they can't say to like get, like, honestly, if they had ever caught on back when they were just handing out mass bans back in the like the old Twitter days, rather than banning people, they should have just started handing out like 3 to 6 month suspensions. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because ultimately people would come back under their umbrella and they would watch what they said to not trigger one of those again. And it would have like ultimately, they're way too short sighted. But I don't want to plant those seeds. But Elon's.
We got banned all the time.
Facebook,
we got banned all the time.
Yeah, I haven't had to make a new account in like 2 years, but like it's actually I don't know. I
never got banned. I never got banned even in old Twitter, because I guess I knew how to play the game. Because I would say everything, but I just knew how to talk.
I lost an Instagram.
If you pissed off the wrong activists back in the day, they would just continuously like it was Travis Brown, the same guy who targeted the Big Balls kid. They had like a mass reporting system, and they also had it. Travis actually worked for Twitter at one point as well. So like they had, if they had a bone to pick with you, and they had their massive like GitHub spreadsheet of all these different people, like you didn't stand a damn chance. So
well, that was also like all in the
mechanisms are still in place, and they want to act like they're not, but they are. So. It is what it is.
Yeah, I have more friends who have gotten banned now under, like, I say all the worst stuff now. Wow. Yeah, and there was a good time on Twitter when I was banned completely. I couldn't get on. They would constantly, if I made a new account, boom, I was done. Like, I was off for months. And then now I have people who are getting still banned over like nothing. It's weird.
I'm surprised that I mean, Camelot, his original account is still banned over like the most milquetoast joke ever. Like the one that when he was like, "Oh, I would have done the same thing about that guy who, like apparently like raped somebody who came to rob him or something like that."
Oh,
so
wow.
then he's like, "Oh, I would have done the same thing."
That was a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, and he got banned. His account is gone. I was like, "Damn!" Over that.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.